Alright! Hello! Good morning! Ayan, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Ayan, welcome to another Tag Pros Education live webinar. Ayan, it's brought to you in celebration of International Literacy Day and National Teachers Month. Okay, by the way, before we start, my name is Glenda Milarion and I'll be your guide and moderator for today's session. Let's move on to the highlight of the session. All right. Our speaker this morning is an award-winning Filipino educator, school leader, digital learning consultant, and an author. Right. He is a co-founder and chief program officer of TagPros Education, where he leads programs that empower teachers and learners to maximize the potential of technology in education. Mga guro, coaches, and magulang, let's all welcome Sir Francis Jim Toscano. Let's give him a virtual applause or heart react to Sir Jim.
Morning, everyone. Eh, right. Good morning. Thank you so much, Glenda, and good morning to all who are here. Um, let me just make sure if everything is okay. All right. Can you do thumbs up? Can you go to your comment section and tell me if you can see the one on the screen right now? All right. So, good morning, everyone. What we will be discussing today is called AI literacy for students. How do we pursue critical thinking and creativity in the AI era? Um, there are a lot of you. There are a lot of you are coming from Zamboanga and everything. Ayan. Ah, sabi na baho daw. Ano yung baho? Mabaho po ako. Grabe naman. Good morning. Nag-toothbrush naman po ako in the morning. It's a Saturday morning. Okay, so let's do a um I will start with an activity. And for this activity, there will be for this session there are three things that we will try to realize. Ano yung magic, ano yung myth, ano yung meaningful use about AI in light of AI literacy. Okay? So we'll start with a game. Okay? Hindi tayo maka-thumbs up or thumbs down, but I want you to tell me whether left or right na lang. So ganito yung tingnan. Ano yung real? So look at the picture right now that I'm showing on the screen. What is real? Can you tell me what is real? Left or right? Okay, I'll wait for everyone. Okay, someone's watching from Ibaraki, Japan. Okay, what is real or which is real? Sam says right is real. Okay, right is real. Bakit kaya? Bakit right is real? What's your reason? Okay, what's the reason? Right? Ayan, left. Some said left as well. And one is AI. Number one is AI. Right, left. Okay, thank you for your action. Your answers. Okay. What is real is the one on the right. What is AI is the one on my nearer to me or on my left. This is my right, no? So right. Okay, I don't know how it's showing on the screen right now kasi baka na mirror or something. But yung real, yung pattern. Sabi nila, yung AI masyadong malinis. In nature, things are messy daw, sabi nila. Even the coatings. Okay? It's not the lighting. It's actually the details, the spots. So, in nature, this species of frog, meron siyang overlapping kinds of spots. So, hindi siya yung masyadong malinis. Okay? Okay, next. Okay, next picture. This is, I think, a picture, both are images of Hong Kong. Ayan. Which one is real? Sige nga, tingnan natin kung mag-a-apply pa rin yung masyadong rendered, not blurred or whatever. Tingnan natin. May label naman po. Siyempre, sinagot ko na po yun kung ano yung AI and real. Baka late ka na po nung pumasok po kayo, Ma'am Maria. Una po ko pong pinapakita yung dalawang images tapos siyempre lalagyan ko ng label. Kahit ako confused pag sinabi ko na yung sagot. So catch up tayo, Ma'am Maria. Baka late po kayong dumating. So gusto ko to no, yung morning tapos may mga ano tayo no, nakikitang parang something ano. So Ma'am Maria, catch up po. Okay, left is real. Okay, for this image, left, left, left. Okay. The answer is the picture nearer to me is actually real. Ano yung reason natin? The right picture is real? No. The answer really is this one, real. Yung the one on the right, masyadong polished. If you look closely, there are blurred. So kanina, sa unang image natin, sabi natin, the blurrier it is, the better. Masyadong define yung AI. But for this, yung spot na yon na blurred, that's the mark of an AI. The one that is real actually has more not so rendered well parts of the picture. Okay? Okay, next. Ayan. I hope you know this. This Tom Cruise, si Tom Cruise ba to? But sino ang totoo? Sino ang totoo? Okay, let's look here. Who is the real guy? Right is the real guy. Right, left, right. Ayan. Right, left, sir. Right is real Tom Cruise. Okay. The one on the left. Okay. All right. The answer is walang totoo sa kanila. Yung isa, impersonator. Okay? So, totoong tao siya. Yung AI is actually the one to the right. AI in a sense na gumamit sila ng deepfake. Tao actually yan. Pero dahil gumamit sila ng AI tool na advanced, it's called deepfake image, nilapat nila yung mukha. So that's actually a video. If it's a video, the image actually moves. Right? Hindi makuha yung right ang mukha ni Tom Cruise. Well, technically, dalawa silang fake. The other one, impersonator, the other one is AI generated fake news, deep fake image. Okay? Next. What do you feel about this? Do you know this video? I will not play it kasi pag na-play tayo baka makapiright at mawalan tayo ng live stream. Okay? Ayan, awit daw, sabi ni Sir. Can you tell me what happened in this video? Remember this? This was a person, a counselor. She was praying. 'Di ba? Prayer leader siya. Yan. Hindi daw kilala ng mga iba. Okay, I'll describe it. I cannot play it kasi baka ma-ban kami. Matapos yung live natin. So this prayer leader, nagpray siya. Ang ganda ng dasal niya, may binabasa siya hanggang sa umabot siya sa part na you may customize and use this prayer according to your needs or whatever. So ChatGPT prayer. Okay. Ayan. So, gets nyo na ha. Yun. Next. Ayan, hindi natin ipi-play. Okay? How about this? Hindi ko na rin mapi-play pero yung news na to, merong isang tao na news siya, viral din, nag-o-offer siya ng thesis na sinulat na 5,000 chapters 1 to 3. Chapters 1 to 3 ang ino-offer sa news na na-pick up na to. Tapos ang sabi niya, ilalagay din daw niya yung prompt na ginawa. Yung prompt na ginawa niya para pag tinanong ka about yung content mo, so alam mo kung ano yung content. So parang ganito, yung viral news na to, it contains it contains hindi naman bago yung nagbebenta ng thesis eh. Meron na yan. 1990s pa, 1980s pa. Meron nang nagbebenta ng thesis, di ba? Pati statistician nga, di ba, tumutulong na nagbebenta din ng services nila. Yan, tama si ma'am. 5,000, no? Chapters 1 to 3. Di ba? Easy thesis. Gusto ko yung sinabi ni Sir Ron. Easy thesis. Yan, that's 5,000. Okay?
Ano ba yung benefits ko?
Yan. And this one, and the last one, ito naman yung ano. I don't know if you can read it, but this was a post from ADMO Freedom Wall. It's a freedom wall by managed by people not connected, officially connected to Ateneo's leadership and management. But this is a freedom wall of students. Medyo pinersonal ko to kasi I'm a graduate of Ateneo. I took philosophy when I was in college. I loved literature. I studied literature. And then, sabi nito, wala na daw kwenta yung mga graduate. School of Humanities kasi is where philosophy is under, the Department of Philosophy sa Ateneo. So, I'm a graduate of Ateneo and I took this personally kasi parang ang kwenta ngayon ang philosophy, ang literature, ang psychology, history, and all those things. Kasi kaya yung mga inaaral mo, kaya nang gawin yan ng ChatGPT. Di ba parang ganun? So I took it personally. Medyo in a way, I screenshotted it and gave my own reflection, which made me, that was the most viral view that I have. As of now, I have 500,000, 500,000 view of that post and thousands of free app. At umabot na rin siya sa mga dati kong philosophy professors sa Ateneo, and they said, thank you for speaking for us. Just because ChatGPT can do this doesn't mean na wala ng importance yung mga courses na to. Kasi ito yung mga courses na tumutulong sa atin para malaman kung ano yung tama, ano yung mali, ano yung importante. Okay? So, yun. So the big idea here is, nahirapan ba kayo? 'Di ba kung tayo na adults nahirapan sa pag-intindi ng AI, 'di ba kahapon lang I was watching a news yesterday, hindi ko na rin nasama. Yung somewhere here in Manila, yung may nagresponde na mga bombero, and these firefighters went to the scene kasi emergency to, so sobrang bilis and everything. Ayan, tama yung viral sir na kunwari nasunog yung bus. Yes, that's the one. AI lang pala. And you know what? Merong law na nagsasabing pag nag-fake news ka, nag-cause ka ng false alarm, pwede ka kasing makulong eh, 'di ba? Bawal sa batas 'yun, 'di ba, yung mga bombero. Siguro ang high nag-trip lang yung mga tao, pero what if may mga ibang sunog? What if there are other emergency? They have to allocate manpower. Diba sayang yun yung opportunity to be able to help people just because some persons felt happy doing it, diba? So kung tayo nahirapan, paano tayo mag-survive in a world that has AI? Paano yung mga students natin, diba? Sabi ni Sir Charles, shout out sa mga classmate ko dyan, sabay-sabay tayo matuto. Okay, we need to learn about AI. We need to understand it so we can work with AI better. The big idea is not to remove AI. I don't think we can go back to a world without AI. Ngayon pa lang, 'di ba, real time, kaya medyo ako na-stress. Nag-order ako sa Grab para yung kape ko buhay ako, 'di ba? Ngayon Saturday morning. Ayan, ang nangyari, kulang yung order namin. Ang kausap namin ngayon, AI. So, medyo inis na inis yung kapatid ko kasi chatbot yung kausap niya. Paano kami magko-complain, 'di ba? Grab your BDO, your GCash and everything, they make use of AI. We have Gabay, Tagpros Education. It's our teacher AI tool to help teachers work better. So we cannot go back to in a world without AI, because everything that we're using, whether directly or indirectly, has AI in them. So what can we do? We need to learn. We need to be better. We need to be responsible. In another session, I will talk about how teachers could collaborate with AI. That's called co-intelligence. So, co-living with AI ang goal natin ngayon. Pero, anong magagawa natin? Two things. Number one, kailangan nating i-understand what AI is. Second, paano yung mga students natin? So I will also share later literacy frameworks that you can use. September is a month of literacy. September 5 is International Literacy Day. So there are new literacies and na bago na. Medyo challenging lang no sa Philippines kasi hinahabol natin yung foundational literacy. A lot of our students are struggling. Whether we like it or not, the numbers are out. It's really clear. There's struggle with foundational literacies, but there's a new literacy that is coming in, and that's AI literacy. You know why? Because our students, our country will continue to lag behind if we always play catch up. Lagi na lang tayong catch up. Lagi na lang tayong humahabol. Foundational literacy pa lang, di ba? Humahabol na tayo. Paano pa yung AI? Ang big problem right now is paano natin pagsabay-sabayin ang mga to. Kasi makikita nyo later na hindi mabubuo yung AI literacy kung hindi buo ang foundational literacy ng mga bata. Yun. To be honest, no? Ayan. Natutuwa ako, no? Medyo, di ba, wala pa akong kape ngayon. Pero natutuwa ako sa mga sumasagot. May mga sumasagot rin ng left and right. Siguro late nag-login sina teachers. May sumasagot pa rin ng mga left. Okay? So teachers, catch up tayo. Okay. Let's start. Ano ba yung mga myths about AI? So let's educate ourselves. Let's teach ourselves. Now, I have prepared here, I think, 5 or 6 myths. And I will help you quickly understand why these are myths. Do we know what myth is? Ano ang ibig sabihin ng myth in Tagalog? Ano bang myth in Tagalog? What's myth? The myth of the pineapple. Alamat. Okay, mga alamat pala. So, trying to think about it. So, ano yung mga myths surrounding AI? Okay, number 1. First myth. Okay? AI thinks like humans. Actually, this is a myth. This is a myth because number 1, because AI talks fluently, people assume that AI understand concepts. So technically po, AI is a machine. AI is made up of codes. They work with data. What do? They look at your query. So when you talk to an AI tool, okay, AI predicts the word that will it give you. So for example, when you say, what is the color of the sun? The color of the sun. What is the color of the sun? So si AI, it will not try to understand like the way human beings understand. Instead, what AI would do is, kasi tayo, di ba, parang, what color is the sun? Isipin natin, we look at memory, we look at what we've learned in science, we look at what we see in the real world. That's how we think. That's how we put together how we understand ourselves. However, for AI to work like ChatGPT, Gemini, and everything, they don't really know what we mean by that. Instead, what it does is it breaks down the question, what is the color of the sun, to what color sun. And then it will try to go inside its data. Remember, all AI are made up of data sets. Data, they are trained. So nilalagyan sila ng information. So ang gagawin nito is kung ano yung pinaka-common na idea about the color of the sun, yun probable answer or most probable idea. So when ChatGPT or Gemini answers you, the color of the sun is yellow, it's not because lumabas siya, may mata siya, nakita niya yung or scientist siya, nag-observe siya, or nag-conduct siya ng study. No, hindi. Dahil nga sa training niya, na-feed siya na yung color of the sun is yellow, all information on the internet, yun yung sinasabi. Ang sabi ni AI sa sarili niya, probably, ito yung sagot. So the answer is, AI does not think like humans. Instead, it looks for the most probable information. So, ano yung analogy natin dito? Yung analogy is, it's like a karaoke machine. Yung karaoke machine, kaya niyang kantahin yung song beautifully, di ba? It can sing the song beautifully, but it cannot understand its own lyrics. Hindi niya nagigets yung lyrics. Alam niyang basahin, alam niyang kantahin yung lyrics, pero hindi niya alam kung ano yung ibig sabihin niya. So that's myth number one. AI does not think like the way humans do. AI was coded to copy, okay, how we think, but that's not how we think. That's myth number two. Myth number one. Myth number two. Okay, AI is always confident, so it's accurate. Okay, so dahil confident si AI, ang galing-galing niyang mag-put together ng words, accurate siya. At maraming nagsasabi na accurate. So technically, wala namang masama, okay? Confident output, it's reliable truth. But given our understanding, now AI often hallucinates sources and data. Ano yung AI hallucination na tinatawag? AI hallucination means that, sorry, I think we have international audience, so I might need to stay in the English lane. What we say, what do we mean by AI hallucination? Hallucination simply means that your AI tool, when it gives you answer data, that data does not reflect the real world. Okay? Sir, why does AI hallucinate? Most of the time, AI hallucinates because what we said a while ago, it does not really concern itself with what is true, with what is correct. Instead, based on the data, what is the most probable word or idea that should follow when I answer you? So if there are lacking data, lacking information, or maybe because this AI tool does not have enough information, it will try to invent things. It will try to put words, the most probable word, but most of the time, if there's a lack of data, it hallucinates. Okay? Hindi nagtutugma yung sinasabi niya sa totoong buhay. What it gives you does not match the way things are. Ano yung analogy nito? Parang kanina siguro, but before you woke up, nag-i-imagine kayo na milyonaryo na ang mga teachers, or nag-i-imagine kayo na napansin na kayo ng crush nyo, pero in real life, hindi naman pala yun yung nangyari. So that's hallucination. That's hallucination. Okay? Are we still clear? This is an example of hallucination, no? ChatGPT was asked, okay, bakit halimaw? Sino si halimaw? AI is halimaw. Okay, samples of AI hallucination. When was the Golden Bridge transported for the second time across Egypt? Yun palang question na yun. Alam na natin na we know already that it's a false, there are false ideas there. Golden Gate Bridge is in San Francisco, California. And yet, because we were confident in asking question, transported for the second time across Egypt, okay, it assumes that because we AI assumes as well that because of our question, the Golden Gate Bridge is actually in Egypt. So technically, that's hallucination, and it will give you confident answer. Okay, so that's hallucination. Teacher, so can we then trust AI? Yes, you can trust AI. You just need to evaluate. But here's the catch: for people who work with knowledge that are hindi na napapalitan, that are consistent. For example, for example, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Hindi naman yan napapalitan eh. So when you ask an AI tool about math question, most of the time, the basic information do not change. Even science. um, language, grammar, uh, black and white yung mga yun eh, unless you believe in what we call as relativism. I live my own truth. Ikaw yung nagsasabing I have my truth, masyado naging OA ka. Ang 1 plus 1 is equal to 3 na sa'yo. That the color of the sun is black na because what I see is the truth. What I feel is the truth. Hindi pwedeng ganun. Yung my feelings, the way I see things are truth. Those are not good ways of looking into information. But if you believe that because 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, that's black and white knowledge, then AI could help you because the information in AI will more or less be the same kasi it's the most common knowledge. Okay? So that's how we're looking at it. Okay? Be careful. This is what we call as the trust trap. Fluency does not equal accuracy. But here's the thing though, there was a Stanford study in 2023. They found out that 70% of our students believe AI outputs were correct based on tone alone. So what does that mean? Just because AI sounds confident, AI uses words that are very good, okay, that are that AI is well versed. They already assume that they trust that AI output is correct. That's 70%. Okay. So another study confirmed that people rate hallucinated outputs as high quality if the language is fluent. So parang ito lang yun. Parang yung colleague lang ninyo yung school. Parang yung teacher lang sa school ninyo or yung school leader na colleague ninyo. I remember this no, pinsan if I go on training at may mga program, yung host na teacher or host na school leader, ang dami niyang sinasabi. Parang para sa isang nouns, 6 na adjectives yung sinasabi niya, parang thesaurus. Or para siya yung student niyo na sobrang confident, ang lalim ng mga words niya, wala namang kwenta yung thought niya. Right? Wala naman kwenta yung thought niya. That's trust trap. Just because it's fluent doesn't mean it's accurate. Okay? So, myth number 3. AI will replace teachers, researchers, and other professions. We always say that that automation is replacement, but that's a misunderstanding. In our lives, just because AI can draft lectures, can summarize our studies, or generate research and make quizzes for us, doesn't mean na mawawala na yung role natin as teachers or as researchers or maybe other profession. The thing here is, AI can do some of our tasks. What's happening right now is we need to restructure the way we do our jobs. Unless ikaw yung teacher na nagtuturo na parang robot, yung walang pakialam sa students, sorry mo, bato-bato sa langit, tamaan magagalit. Pero wala sa K-12 yung mga teachers na ganun eh, di ba? Wala naman sa K-12 ang mga teachers na walang pakialam sa students nila eh. Sa K-12 nga, alam natin yung mga students natin, alam natin yung mga needs nila and context. Sino yung threaten sa mga na pwedeng palitan ng AI na natatakot. And I just want to be straightforward. Last Thursday, I was in Baguio. I had a talk. I was a plenary speaker to the Graduate School Association of the Philippines. So Philippine Association of Graduate Education. And these were the deans of graduate schools. Professors and graduate school. And sabi ko, alam nyo, hindi naman sa K-12 na stress ang mga teachers sa AI. Ang nai-stress yung higher ed. Kasi sa higher ed, pwede kayong magturo na wala kayong pakialam sa estudyante ninyo. I had professors who I did not know well. They just come in and out of the classroom. They don't bother asking you. So they will, because of the things that they do, they don't even care about the students. How will they know that the student submitted an AI generated whatever kung hindi nila kilala yung capacity ng mga students nila? Right? So things like that, no, it's not the threat of AI in education is not really on K to 12. Yes, there are issues surrounding it, but a lot of it are in the higher ed. Yeah, a higher ed that is so dependent on written assessment like essays and research. Ang daling i-AI niyan eh. Okay? But it doesn't mean though that that these professions are replaceable. Okay? Parang ganito, AI is like calculator. It can speed up our computation, but it does not really change, does not say wala nang mathematician. 'Di ba? May calculator na, tanggalin na natin yung mga mathematician. No. Ang mga mathematician, kailangan mag-upgrade ng knowledge nila. Kailangan naging mas mabilis kasi may tool na sila na ginagamit. Okay? Um, last month or this month, Microsoft came out with a study. It's called the Occupational Implications of Generative AI. So Microsoft Bing Copilot study. What happened in this? Um, Microsoft looked at 200,000 queries in Copilot in their own AI, and they look at ano ba ang ginagawa ng mga tao na gumagamit ng Copilot in terms of goals nila, job goals, or maybe task goals. And the study came up with these findings. Generative AI most strongly augments. Augments means tinutulungan, knowledge work, and communication-oriented profession. So, si generative AI, natutulungan niya yung mga knowledge-based and communication-oriented profession. That means translators, historians, writers, editors, and educators. Tayo yun. However, there is minimal impact of AI on occupations requiring physical tasks. Nursing, assistants, roofers, operators. I remember like a month or 2 months ago, I had a training on AI in a maritime school in Cavite. So it's a maritime school. So there ang mga students nila karamihan ay magiging seaman. Okay? And nakakatuwa kasi in the end, ang realization ng mga college instructors and professors, yung mga nagtuturo kung paano ayusin ang barko, paano intindihin yung ganito related to seafaring, tuwang-tuwa sila kasi hindi naman daw sila mapapalitan ng AI. Kasi kailangan lumabas ng mga students nila, kailangan nilang lumabas dahil sa profession nila, tingnan ang barko at ayusin in real life. Hindi pwedeng knowledge-based lang. So natuwa sila pero in the end, they also appreciated AI kasi natutulungan sila sa paggawa ng mga instructional materials nila na hindi common, na hindi nakikita. Like for example, when they talk about the law of displacement and everything, wala namang masyadong instructional materials kasi kaunti lang naman yung maritime school. 'Di ba? Walang publisher ang papatol para sa kanila kasi mababa ang generation or yung development and publishing. So doon sila nahihirapan. Now, because these maritime college professors are having a hard time with that, they're using AI. So I trained them to use AI, but they know that in real life, in real life application, they have to go out to the waters and look at the ship. 'Di ba parang ganun yun yung sinasabi natin? When your occupations require physical tasks or real life application, AI can help you, but there will be minimal impact. They will not be able to replace you. Okay? Next. So AI's rule is primarily supportive, gathering information, explaining, and drafting, rather than autonomous completion of complex professional responsibilities. So pag complex po ang responsibilities ng AI, hindi po tayo mapapalitan kung complex responsibilities ang meron tayo. All right? Okay. Nawala ba ako sa screen? Okay. Sorry. Okay. Heads up though, ano yung effect? Kasi sinasabi ko, myth na hindi tayo mapapalitan ng AI. What is the reality? Yung mga graduate students natin. Yung mga graduate students natin, yung mga newly graduate, yung skills nila kailangan mag-upgrade. Kasi yung mga entry-level na graduate students,
alam na gawin ng AI ang mga kaya nilang gawin. So, namimili na ngayon yung mga employers. Kailangan yung mga new hire na newly graduate, kailangan mas magaling sila sa higher level. Hindi sila pupunta doon mag-apply tapos sabihin nila, I can create an outline of proposal. I can do this. I can know. Huwag mo nang sabihin yung kayang gawin daw ng AI. Instead, ano pa yung mas mataas na kaya mong gawin aside from what AI can do. Yun lang yung effect ng AI ngayon. It's on the entry-level jobs ng mga newly graduate. Kaya nga, ang sabi natin, dapat yung college din, yung higher ed natin, mag-adjust. Ang mundo kasi nag-a-adjust na. The irony is, the one who's preparing them for their real life, sila ang huling-huli. That's the irony of it. The ones who are tasked to prepare the students for real life, they would always say we're real life, blah, 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 or whatever, are the ones who are very slow in catching up. Nauna na yung buong mundo, huling-huli pala yung mga colleges natin. That's one of the saddest things that are happening. Okay? Myth number 4, AI is neutral. No, AI is not neutral. Remember what I said a while ago? AI is trained with data. Because AI is a machine, akala natin it's objective, impartial, and unbiased. But not really. Because AI is being fed with data and choices of its developers. It's possible and it is clear that what it produces is shaped by who created it, what data it was trained on, and whose voices are most represented. Kaya minsan nakakatawa, no? I use this as an example. AI is like a mirror. Hindi siya kung ikaw kung ikaw na tao, halimbawa kung ako, may pimple marks ako. Pag nag-mirror ako, hindi tatanggalin ng totoong mirror unless gustong-gusto mo ng filter. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Kung ano yung tao, pagkatao mo, yung physical mo, humarap ka sa mirror, yun na yun. Okay? Kung ano yung input, siyang output na ipapakita ng mirror. Parang ganun din yung AI. Kung ano yung input data, yun din yung output na ilalabas ng AI. So sabi nga nila, yung pre-trained ideas, it's reflective of our values. It's reflective of what's happening in the internet, yung information. So pwedeng yung prejudices and biases are there. For example, I want to show you an example, no? Oh, wala na pala. Yung example, when are you aware of DeepSeek? DeepSeek is China developed AI. So when you ask controversial political statements, it will not show the Philippine side. It will show the China side because the developers are actually Chinese. They're done in China. Its headquarters is China. Okay? Parang same with OpenAI. OpenAI will reflect mostly Western ideas instead of other ideas outside it. So ganun yung nangyayari. Okay? That's how we're doing it. Okay? It's reflective. It's not neutral. It's reflective of what's happening. The information that it is. Okay? Myth number 5, AI privacy risks only matter for big data, not for my work. Akala natin na, kasi ordinaryong tao lang naman ako. Wala naman sila makukuha sa akin, wala kang laman yung bangko ko eh. So, wala silang makukuhang data sa akin. So, okay lang. Gamit ako. Ano ba yung uso ngayon? Yung uso yun yung action figure, right? The action figure and then may nakatayo sa computer, whatever. Can you tell me if you've done that? Sana no, I pray that when you did that with an AI tool, hindi libre yung AI tool ninyo na ginagamit ninyo. Here's the thing, and I want to be honest with you, I work with developers and everything. When something is free, ang kapalit ay iyong data. So sana yung mga nag-gibli-gibli dito, ano pa ba yung mga AI na usong images? Yan ngayon, yung mga nag-a-upload ng mga pictures nila para gumawa ng action figure. If you were pag sumama kayo sa ganon, be careful, and I hope that what you use is not a free AI tool, because when something is free, they get your data. So alam nila yung pangalan mo, alam nila yung email mo, ngayon sinaksakan mo pa ng picture mo. Tas you also describe what you want the picture to be so that it's reflective of who you are in real life. So basically, you gave up everything, 'di ba, of your data. Why does this matter? Kasi if you cannot protect your data and you're very much willing to give up your data just to be part of a certain fad or something, anong ibig sabihin nun? We cannot trust you. How can we trust you with the school and students' data if you cannot trust, if you will upload and openly give up your data to other people just because it's free, 'di ba? So I hope that you are subscribed and that you check your privacy settings. Yun po yung kapalit. Wala namang libre po sa buhay sa technology. In Facebook, for example, everything is free, but do you know that when you join Facebook, all the things that you post, pictures, ideas, and everything, they save it and they sell it as part of their data and everything? That's the reality. Nothing is free. Okay? If it's something is free in technology, you are the payment, your data. Okay? I know that there are teachers who upload documents of their schools. I know that there are teachers who upload essays and let AI check them. Please be careful. If you're using free AI, don't ever do that. Technically, uploading private information, even yung student work and everything, private data, that's actually against the law, the Data Privacy Act of 2012. Pero ang sasabihin nyo, sir, okay lang yun, wala namang nakakakita eh, ordinary lang naman. No, yun nga yung point. When no one is looking at you, your true self comes out. Yun po yung sabi nila. So just because no one is looking at you, upload ka na, ang cheap pa natin, ayaw natin mag-subscribe. So wala tayong privacy setting, right? So we just upload everything. Sorry ha, it's real talk, but that's a myth that I want you to understand. Okay? So, yes, alarming. Kaya nga sabihin natin sa kanila na nakakatakot. Okay? And one more, last myth. The use of AI is limitless and harmless. Oh, akala natin kasi libre naman yan. Sige, ask lang tayo ng question, pagawa tayo ng pagawa. But here's the thing, we assume that just because AI tools are free, it means that AI use is unlimited, fun, and harmless. So what do we mean by this? Cloud-based AI interactions require more energy to power and cool down AI server farms. The analogy is AI is always thirsty. You know how AI works? They work cloud. So there are server farms. The server farms need water. More water than your electric fan, more water than your ref. The water is used to generate electricity to run them. And according to studies right now, grabe, yung isang question, ilang litro. Isang question mo lang, ilang litro ng tubig ang kailangan niyang gamitin para ma-power. So sorry for my French, for every stupid question you ask. Sorry for that ha. For every stupid question that you ask, you're actually subtracting a life from Earth. That's what they said. Sorry for my French. Sorry for the word. For every katamaran that we have to use AI, kahit kaya naman natin gawin, hindi naman talaga kailangan gawin, nababawasan ang buhay ng mundo. That's the struggle right now. And no one is talking about it, but we need to talk about it. Because AI has been set free for use for everybody. Everyone wants to use AI, but we're not aware that water is being used, a lot of water. And you know, the server farms, they're located in communities. They're located in communities. So instead of directing the energy toward the communities, these server farms get all the electricity, nawawalan ng kuryente, even the communities near them. So that's the interesting part. No one is talking about the sustainable problem. Okay? May mga concerns tayo. Okay? Those are the myth. So, That's the first one. These are the 6 myths that we need to uncover and talk about. We educated ourselves as students, our teachers. Paano naman ang mga students? I know that there are some students here, they're very active. Um, they're very active in responding. Ang dami kong heart ngayon. Baka mas maganda yung ideas din ninyo yung share ninyo. But here's the thing. How do we then help our students understand? Okay, AI. I'm gonna talk about, the next part will be about AI literacy. What does AI literacy mean? So ang daming myth, there are fake images outside, it can fool us. So what can we do? Okay? AI literacy is our ability to understand, use, evaluate, and create with AI technologies responsibly and ethically. So, understanding, using, evaluating, creating with AI tools, but the keywords there are responsibly and ethically. Responsibly and ethically. So it involves how AI works. We need to understand how AI works, critically assessing AI outputs, and making informed decisions. Okay? Marami ng AI literacy framework that you can see. You have European Commission or OECD and UNESCO. There are others as well. I know that some schools are developing their AI literacy framework, but I'm gonna focus on two global perspective for AI literacy for students. So, yung mga college students natin, ito po ang inihintay na kaya ninyong i-develop para pag nag-apply kayo sa work ninyo, it's easier for you because us in the industries, we don't hire people who can do what AI can do. Instead, we hire students who can do beyond what AI can do. Okay? So, what are the different frameworks for student AI literacy? Let's start with UNESCO. These are available for free. UNESCO AI Competency Framework for Students. In this framework, there are 4 aspects, 4 areas that need to be developed or needs to be given focus by educators to help students be better with AI. Number 1, human-centered mindset. Second is ethics of AI. Third is AI techniques and application. And fourth is AI design. There are 3 levels. For UNESCO, there are 3 levels for it. How do you then develop? Progression levels. There's acquisition or acquire, application or apply, and then creation or create. Let's go through each level, okay? For UNESCO, students need to develop human-centered mindset. So there are 3 levels: understand, apply, and create. Under this, we need to practice human agency. Recognize AI is human-led, understanding the importance of human control and decision-making. So we have AI in there, but we need to understand that we are in charge of AI. Okay, and then we have application, human accountability, which means that we acknowledge our decisions, AI decisions, and we do them with legal and ethical responsibility. The highest form, the highest competency of human-centered mindset for UNESCO, for our students, is citizenship in the era of AI. Students are able to critically evaluate AI's impact on society, act responsibly, and become AI citizens. Okay? Next, the ethics of AI. For UNESCO, it's also good, it's also important, imperative for us to practice ethics of AI. So, there's understanding embodied ethics. What does that mean? To understand and internalize principles like do no harm, proportionality, non-discrimination, sustainability, transparency, human determination. So you have to understand them, and then you have to apply them, safe and responsible use of AI, and then create. So when you develop AI tools, when you use AI tools, you design ethics. Hindi kayo magde-design ng mga AI tools or gagamit ng AI tools na ay okay lang yan, kainin na natin yung data nila para mas marami tayong makuhang data. Wag na. Ethics of AI means you create and put ethics by design. Okay? Next, AI techniques and application. These are our ways of working with AI. So we understand the basics of AI or AI foundations, and then we apply what we know about AI in our work, in our lives, and then we use AI to build tools, AI tools, or to make our lives better in ethical, creative, and interdisciplinary approach. 'Di ba? So you learn the skill, you learn the knowledge, you apply them in your life, and then you create new knowledge and AI tools using what you've learned. Okay? And I think this is the last one, AI system design. Medyo ano siya, medyo on the higher, more advanced level. So we understand what it means to we understand the idea of using when or whether AI should be used, and then we apply it. We build AI systems, and then we create, iterate, and feedback loop. So yung AI system design, not really for all students, but because we're working with AI, we need to understand that there will be problems with AI. How do we build AI tools better? And how do we gather feedback from users so that we can refine our AI tools? Okay? Para ang hirap, no? Pero yun na yung future na nakikita natin. OECD or the European Commission gives us something for primary and secondary education. So, ano yung sinasabi ni OECD? Sabi niya, there are 4 areas into AI literacy. Number 1 is engaging with AI. I recognize AI's influence. Creating with AI. I collaborate with AI to create new things. And then managing AI. I use AI to enhance and support my tasks. And designing AI. I understand and shape AI's behavior. So very simple lang din kasi this is for primary and secondary, elementary and secondary AI education. So sabi niya, there are 4 competencies. I engage with AI, I create with AI, I manage AI, and I design with AI. So engaging means I recognize AI, evaluate validity, and understand foundations. Creating with AI, collaborate with AI, refine outputs, and handle ethics. Manage AI, I work with AI, I give AI some tasks, but I align it with my values and goals. I design with AI, meaning I explore AI design choices and understand their impact. Okay? When you look at this document, ang maganda nito, because this is for primary and secondary education, you are not just given the domains, you are also given the knowledge, skills, and attitudes for each area. So I will not go over. You can download this, no? This is for free, yung document na pinakita ko. So if you're very interested, you go through the document and the curriculum that they have. They have knowledge, skills, and attitudes as well. Okay? So, and also, this document reinforces the idea that AI literacy is not actually a separate subject. AI literacy is connected and related to other subjects. So, for example, our idea is how can students be still critical thinkers? AI literacy, when you teach them to read AI-generated information, that's media literacy. Media literacy is already teaching critical thinking. Reading comprehension. Reading is already teaching them how to read and comprehend. So AI literacy, if you've noticed, while there are new things, it's actually connected to the old or to the first literacies. Like for example, safety and privacy in AI. Privacy in AI. That's actually digital literacy. So if you have media literacy, digital literacy, if you have a GMRC, values education, Christian life education, computer science, those are already related skills that are present in AI literacy. Okay? So what we're talking here is we need to approach AI literacy from a interdisciplinary perspective. Okay, you look at it from an interdisciplinary perspective. Okay, this is by EduCause as well. It's very similar with OECD or European Commission. So it's understanding AI, use and apply AI, analyze and evaluate AI, create AI. So very Bloom's, very revised Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, that's from EduCause. And then just a browse through Digital Education Council AI Literacy Framework. Very similar with UNESCO. There's level 1, level 2, level 3. And then there are different dimensions. Look at the different dimensions. It's very similar. So all of these are very similar. Okay, understanding AI, critical thinking, ethical and responsible use. So what is common to all frameworks? These are the 6 themes common to all frameworks: critical evaluation and analytical thinking, effective and ethical use of AI tools, understanding AI concepts and foundations, ethical awareness and reflection, creativity and problem solving, human centered judgment and oversight. If you are teaching students, it simply means think before you trust, use AI smartly and safely, understand the basics of AI, be fair and responsible in using AI. You can get creative with AI and stay in charge. Stay in charge when using AI. Ang daming mga frameworks and literacies, but these are the important messages that we need to give our students. All right. So my call to action, I'm almost done. How will you integrate this in your classes? How will you update your computer education classes? How will other subjects support AI integration? Okay? So in a world with AI, a world with AI is an inevitable, but a world with compassion, empathy, and humanity is our choice. So it's important to teach our students of AI literacy. They are living in a world where AI is inevitable. Okay, but here's the thing: the choice of being compassionate, the choice of empathy and humanity, that's our choice. So in the world full of AI, we teach our students to be human. Because in the end, what will matter most is our humanity. So thank you everyone. I have a book, kita nyo sa side, sa baba. It's called Empower to Thrive, Igniting the Blended Learning Journey, where I talk about technology. It's under Rex Education. It's available on Shopee and Lazada as well. So if you want to use this for your students, please do so. If you're a student and you're interested with technology, please look for the phone. Okay, so thank you everyone. That's AI literacy for students, empowering critical thinking and creativity in the AI era. All right, so I think we have time for some questions. So if you have questions, ladies and gentlemen, ayan, Glenda will be helping me as well. But yeah, let's have your questions or insights.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Jim, for that very insightful and inspiring session. Grabe, no? Ang daming real talk, ang daming learnings, ayan, ang daming realizations. And truly, AI literacy is not just about using technology. It's about guiding our students to think critically, to be creative, and use AI responsibly in their learning journey. And pati na rin tayo as teachers, tama? So, we want to hear from you. Ayan, let me check if there are questions, and mas maganda kung marami tayong tanungin questions para mas malinawan tayo, or maybe you can share your thoughts. You can type it in the comment section, please. Let me see. Ayan. Let me see. Sige po, type nyo lang po kung may mga questions kayo, or maybe you can share something. Ayan, we're now having 223 live viewers. Ayan, ang dami. Grabe, ang dami talagang interested sa AI ngayon, Sir Jim, kasi nga wala, hindi na natin to matatakasan. Talagang nagagamit na siya, and malaki na yung impact niya sa bawat ginagawa natin. So, yes, ayan. So, we have question here, sir, from Ma'am Elisha Schmid. Kung tama ako ng banggit, ayan. What is your advice for the people who overuse AI?
what is our advice for those who overuse AI? Um, wala. Halimbawa, matanda na to, professional teacher na to. Sana, overuse kasi yung word eh. Um, what you do does not speak of us. It speaks about who you are. So, nandito na tayo sa point na kung overuse na, wala nang magagawa. Sana may policy and guidelines kayo. Number one, dapat may policy and guidelines kayo. This policy or guidelines should give appropriate sanction for those who overuse AI. Kung student, meron tayong student AI policy. Di ba? Hindi ka pwedeng magka-perfect na score. Hindi ka pwedeng ipasa kasi academic integrity problem yan. Sana meron. So, paano sa mga teachers and professionals? Be careful. Be careful with overusing of AI because, professional na kayo eh. Hindi na namin kayo bibigyan ng sanction. Kung ang school ninyo, merong mga policy. I know, no, I have a friend. He's the chief of governance, DepEd, SGod, in DepEd Lawag City. And I'm so happy kasi napansin niya na lahat na ata ng mga documents na sinesend sa kanya, kahit yung mga innovation ideas ng mga teachers, gawang AI. So what he did was to create a policy about AI use. And I was so happy because walang institutionalized and he institutionalized it for DepEd. I think DepEd Lawag City. So shout out to my friend John Paul Viernes. Kami ni John Paul, hindi kami against the use of AI, but overusing AI. In the end kasi character yan eh, integrity. Diba? Sana hindi lang natin pinag-uusapan na ang integrity ay nangyayari lang sa politics. Ang integrity lang ay pinag-uusapan kung test na kasi nag-cheat na yung mga students. No, integrity is a way of life. 'Di ba? 'Di ba? Hindi naman pwedeng maging integrity it's not. Oops, nawawala ako. Hindi naman pwedeng pag-usapan lang ang integrity pag nagte-test kayo. Pero paglabas nyo, hindi, ikaw din na teacher, hindi model ng integrity, di ba? So, you have to make sure doon, it's character development. I hope you have policies. I saw a question here, no, related about policies and guidelines. You should have. Kasi we can give them advice, but it's also unfair for other students and other professionals. Di ba? We're trying our best to come up with original ideas eh. So, I'll relate it na, Glenda, with teacher case question. What institutional policy or guidance do you think should be prioritized to address both? Not just academic. I always advocate for whole school. Alam nyo ngayon, sobrang unfair nga eh. Yung mga bata, lagi na lang silang yung dinidikdik pag AI. Alam nyo ba na when I was in a school, as students were there, the students said they don't use AI to cheat. Grabe naman daw tayong mga teachers. Oo, may gumagawa, pero hindi dahil nag-cheat sila. Number one, alam nyo ba na ang mga students ngayon ay ginagamit ng AI kasi ang mga teachers, nagpapasa kayo ng essay, 3 weeks niya, hindi nyo pa binabalik. Magpapapasa na naman kayo ng mga essay, hindi pa nababalik, di ba? Magpa-finals na, hindi nyo pa rin binalik yung mga essay nila, yung mga papers nila. 'Di ba? Sorry ha. Bato-bato sa langit, tamaan magalit. Alam niyo yung ginagawa ng mga students, sinasaksak na nila sa AI para si AI na yung magbigay ng feedback sa kanila. Oh, 'di ba? Sakit nun, 'di ba? So gumagamit ang mga bata ng AI kasi para punan ang mga hindi nagagawa ng mga teachers on time. They're not blaming you, they're aware of the problems din, 'di ba? Of as teachers, the workload that we have, pero be fair na naman daw kayo. Hindi sila gumagamit ng AI para lang mag-cheat. The other reason why students use AI, I know that there are students here, no, pero syempre hindi sila mag-a-agree with me. Kasi nandito yung mga professors din nila and teachers nila. Hindi sila mag-a-agree with me na totoo yun, di ba? So mahihiya sila. Ipa-private message na lang daw ako. Pero the second use of AI, kaya dapat hindi lang academic policy yung meron tayo. Some students use of AI as tutor. Alam nyo ba magkano ang tutor ngayon? Kasi noon nag-tutor ako. That was 2009 to 2015. Ang 1 hour ko noon as a tutor, 500, 600. That was 10 years ago. So magkano na ang tutoring ngayon? Mahal ang tutoring ngayon. Lalo na pag if you tutor in a big school and something, 'di ba? Racket 'yan ng mga teachers eh. So ang mga bata sabi nila, wala kaming access sa tutor, eh, wala kaming pambayad. So sinong tutor nila? Ang ChatGPT, ang Gemini. So, wag lang policy on students ang gawin. Bigyan nyo din policy yung mga teachers ninyo. Ang mga teachers nyo na nagpapasa na lang ng mga AI-generated work. Yung mga guidance counselors ninyo, may policy din ba sila on handling data? I know, for example, may guidance counselor, after ng PTC nila ng parent, in-upload niya yung interview. So marami daw siyang ginagawang transcript. Eh di ba bawal yun sa guidance counseling? Data privacy yun eh. Di ba? Alam ko, paano yung mga finance offices ninyo? Kasi ang dami lang trabaho. Yung registrars, ang ginawa nila, nagpagawa sila ng summary ng enrollment at ng mga information ng bata, ChatGPT. O libre pa yun. So, may policy. So, unfair na academic lang yung policy natin. Dapat lahat ng membro ng school may policy. Diba?
Ayun. Another grabe 'no, o talaga. Maganda talaga yung mga real talk, Sir Jim, para talagang ano, yung mga matatamaan magkaroon ng maraming realization, lalo na yung tungkol diyan sa pagbabalik ng mga activities ng mga bata dahil ang tagal pa bago ma-checkan, 'yan. So, ano ko diyan, eh, guilty ako diyan dati, pero ngayon mabilis ko na siyang ibabalik. Ayan. 'Yan, another question, Sir Jim. Ano pong thoughts niyo naman sa mga teacher na gumagamit ng AI detector?
Okay. To use AI detectors, hindi din naman siya masama. Pero there are a lot of studies and data that says AI detectors are not reliable. So, yes, you may use, yes, you may use, but you cannot depend on them as final evidence na nag-cheat yung bata with AI. They're not reliable. You know that there's already a case. I'm not quite sure. No, there are cases already. Parang yung isang bata, senior high school ata, yung isang bata, siguro tanggalin na natin yung question. Or tanggalin natin yung type and para makita ka yung mukha namin ni Glenda. Ayan. May isang, I know of a case of a student, the teacher accused the student of generating AI. Okay? Submitting an essay with that is AI generated. What happened was that they parang nawalan ng honors yung bata because of that. Kasi it was marked as cheating. But then, nagreklamo yung parents. Ang sabi ng parents, what are your evidence? And then, this teacher, nagreklamo na sila, ganyan-ganyan. This teacher said, I have result from AI detectors. But this AI detector, ang sabi lang niya is, likely written. Not is written, likely written. Yung word na likely written is, ano bang Tagalog ng likely? Most likely. Hindi sure. Oo, pero hindi ako sure. Umabot sila sa korte. Natalo ang teacher at ang school. Why? Kasi, number one, hindi mo evidence dapat. Ang evidence mo dapat 100%. Because there are literatures coming out that, syempre, wag kasi kayong makinig sa mga nagbebenta ng detectors. Siyempre, alam naman sabihin nila na hindi kami magaling na detectors. But there are already independent studies. I-search ninyo, the fact that there are independent studies coming out about the effectiveness, red flag na 'yon. Hindi masama ang gumamit. Baka magalit din yung mga nagbebenta sa akin ng AI detectors. No, I'm not saying na hindi masama. Medyo i-admit nyo lang po na hindi perfect. Kasi pag in-admit nyo na hindi perfect, ang gagawin naming mga teachers, mako-compel kami to do cross-checking. What does that mean? Kailangan kong basahin, kailangan kong mag-investigate. Kasi kung sinabi nyo kasing ang galing-galing nyong AI detectors, bibili kami, magsusubscribe, yun yung nandito sa utak namin. Ang mangyayari, magde-depend kami. But apparently, ang dali nyo lang palang sirain in terms of korte because you're not 100% sure. 'Di ba? So yun yung reality. So you cannot use AI detectors result as prime determinant whether a student whether a student cheated or not. Okay? They cannot be your prime determinant. Sorry, Haim, I'm just being honest. Kasi ganito, before kayo mag-subscribe, before kayo bumili ng mga AI detectors, mag-research din kayo. Meron na eh. Kahit tanungin mo si ChatGPT ngayon, are AI detectors? You ask Perplexity, it will give you a lot of sources eh. There are a lot of studies. Sir Jim, sabi kasi nila, magaling sila. Siyempre, binentahan kayo eh. Di ba, Glenda? May magsasabi bang, ito pampaputi. Sasabihin ba niyang 80% lang? Wala, di ba? Right?
Yes, that's correct. Ayan, galing nga ako sa midterm ngayon, sabi parang may babala dun yung prof namin na i-che-check 'to ng ano, ng AI ganyan kung kinuha mo sa AI yung mga sinagot mo dito sa midterms, o parang gano'n, 'di ba? So, hindi 100% reliable ang kahit anong AI detectors, alam niyo 'yan. So,
Yan. Pag
it's
kinabas natin yung Glenda, merong ano, so meaning that some AI detectors are not totally correct. The word is not totally correct. The word is reliable. They're not reliable. So Maria Cristina Doria, if you're a student, mukha siyang student, no? Baby face siya. Hindi ibig sabihin hindi sila gagamit yung mga professors mo. Gagamit sila. Ang warning lang sa kanila is pag may na-detect sila, basahin nila before nila ibalik sa'yo. Ito rin kasi yung mahirap. Some professors, some teachers kasi hindi pa nila binabasa, binabalik na kasi sabi ni platform na ganito 80%, 70% ka. Ito lang, let's be honest, real talk din. Ito kasing mga professors or teachers, walang oras magbasa. Kaya gumagamit sila ng mga ganyan kasi yan yung step number 1 nila. And ito yung nakakalungkot sa education. They would rather believe the AI detector than work with the student. You know, heads up lang ha mga professors and educators. I'm not siding with the student. Galit din ako sa mga students na nagchi-cheat. But I also want to professors and teachers to be given heads up. The moment you return a paper, and ask them to change it, you're actually accusing the student already. You're actually accusing the student of cheating. Yung mere fact na binalik mo, 'di ba? That's actually accusation. It means I believe the machine, I don't believe you. So, that's an accusation. Mabait pa kasi mga students right now eh. Hindi pa tayo inaaway. Pero there are cases already natatalo ang teacher kasi aside from that, ang dami, ang easy kasing i-break yung reliability. 'Di ba? Pag hindi 100% sure, then it's not. Am I saying na wag gumamit ng detectors? No. What I'm saying is, don't use them as your primary detectors. Primary detectors or primary determinants that the student cheated. Mag-investigate naman kayo. Ayan kasi ang problema. Yun yung sinasabi ko sa K-12, kilala namin ang mga students namin. Alam natin ang, di ba Glenda, alam natin ang kahinaan nila. Alam natin, pati nga crush nila, sinishare nila sa atin eh. Di ba? Kahit problema sa bahay, sa higher ed ba, ganon. Saan ba gumagamit ng mga AI detectors? Sa K-12? No, it's in the higher ed. 'Di ba? Kilala nyo ba yung mga students nyo sa higher ed? Sorry ha, walang patama to, but that's the reality.
correct. Real talk lang daw. Okay. And another one, Sir Jim. Any advice po about what we can say naman to students if ever we teachers quote or knew they are using generated answers? How do you
Okay.
approach?
I wanna be fair. Galit din ako. Galit is a strong word. I also don't like when my students cheat. I'm not condoning cheating. Just because I say that AI tools, detectors are not reliable, I'm not saying that that students can freely use AI. No. You can work with AI, you can brainstorm with AI, pero kaming mga teachers, ang gusto namin, marinig yung original ideas ninyo. So, number one, I hope that schools have their own AI policy. When a student is caught, yung totoong caught ha, yung nag-investigate kayo, umamin siya, ganyan-ganyan. Here's the thing. Dapat yung policy ninyo ng AI, hindi siya dapat parang sobrang special. kasi AI. Hindi. Dapat normal lang siya. Academic integrity. Ano mang ginagawa nyo sa mga batang nag-cheat? May special treatment ba ang AI ngayon? No. It should be very similar with how you treat students who are cheating without AI. So kung may sanction, bigyan ng sanction. Kung may warning, bigyan ng warning. Kung babagsak sa assessment na yon, babagsak sa assessment. Ano ang policy ninyo sa cheating? That should be applied. Pero more than that, ang pangit kasi doon lang din for me is punitive. Punitive ibig sabihin ng papanish lang tayo ng sa sanction. 'Di ba may mga schools na ganito, naalala ko, tawa-tawa ako one time. It's not where I am. I just heard kasi I work with different schools. Nag-cheat yung bata, sinuspend ng 3 araw. Tapos yung bata bumalik. Tinanong yung bata, anong ginawa mo? Nag-reflect ka? Hindi, nagbagyo po kami. 'Di ba? Kaya minsan walang use ang suspension. Kausapin niyo yung bata, ipa-reflect ninyo yung bata. Dapat alam niya na pagkakamali niya. Hindi yung suspend tayo kasi ang galing natin suspend. Walang batang natatakot sa suspension. Ang batang matatakot lang sa suspension ay yung honor student. Pero hindi lahat honor student. 'Di ba? 10 lang yan, 5 lang yan ang gusto magka-honors. Yung iba, chill-chill lang. Gusto lang pumasa, 'di ba? So, kung isuspend mo sila, walang effect yun sa kanila. Matutuwa pa sila, magbabagyo pa sila. So, anong dapat gawin? Turuan natin sila ng values. Ipa-realize sa kanila na mali ang ginawa nila. Kasi kung kaya nilang mag-cheat ngayon, pag tumanda sila at nagkaroon sila ng position sa gobyerno, position sa company, kahit wala kang position, kung madaling mag-cheat sa iyo ngayon as a student, baka maging pagkatao mo ang pag-cheat. Yun yung mahirap. Character development po, hindi lang siya academic problem. So may mga students tayo ngayon, no? Ayan po ha, mga dear students, alam namin na shinare to sa ng mga professors ninyo. Okay? Yes, we're teaching you how to use AI, but it's responsibly and ethically. Okay? Yun. Daming questions, ha?
Sobrang dami. Hindi ko na nga alam kung ano. Pero may another question here naman from Ma'am Liriza Almonicar. Do you think po that the use of AI in teaching social studies would be relevant in teaching?
Oo naman, 'di ba? Kasi ang AI pwede niyang sabihin kung ano yung nangyari. Pero hindi niya kayang sabihin kung paano magpakatao, kung paano maging mabuting mamamayan ng bansa. At teachers, social studies teacher kayo. You model what you teach. Pag tinuturo niyong ayaw natin yung ganitong tao, ayaw natin ng mga kurakot, ayaw natin ng ganito. Di ba sa social studies tinuturo yon? Ano yung pagkakamali natin bilang isang bansa? Bakit nag-away-away tayo? Bakit nagpasakop tayo or whatever? Ituturo niyo yon. Kaya yung gawin ng ChatGPT. Pero tatanungin nila kayo, ma'am, sir, si ganito ba ay okay? Si ganito bang politician ay dapat isupport? So manindigan kayo. 'Di ba? Para mga values education teacher. Ang daling magturo ng values education, 'di ba? Maging honest, maging whatever. Kaya yan ituro din ng AI. Pero ang mga bata, titignan nila, si ma'am, sabi niya kailangang rumespeto. Sabi niya, let's use social media responsibly. Pero nakita ko, ay pagbardagulan si ma'am sa social media. 'Di ba? Nanlalait siya. Si ma'am nga sabi niya, let's sa social studies, let's uncover facts. 'Di ba sa social studies tinuturo 'yun? Yung facts and everything. Pero si ma'am, number 1 peddler ng fake news kasi kaalyado niya si ganito. Joke lang. 'Di ba? So teachers, ang pagiging teacher kaya hindi tayo mapapalitan dahil si AI kaya niyang ituro ang information. Pero tayong mga teachers, ang kaya natin gawin, turuan sila kung paano magpakatao, kung paano i-apply sa totoong buhay, kung paano sila tulungan sila mag-realize na mali or tama yung ginagawa nila. Right? Ayan. So, social studies ha, tinuturuan nyo sila ng facts. Sana hindi kayo number 1 na nag-share ng mga fake news. 'Di ba? Ang dami nating mga social studies. Mga future teachers ba to ng social studies?
Mukhang
Ayan.
marami-rami. Ayan. Another question from Sir Joshua Mendez. Is it fine to go to the math framework development where the AI is made of? Some articles said math concepts are actually irreplaceable according to educational articles.
Ano daw, math concept. Can we bring that out question? Saan ba yun? Math frameworks? What do you mean by math frameworks? Let's look. Math frameworks. I'm trying to look at it now. Is it fine to go to the math framework development? What's math framework development? I'm not aware of that. Where AI is made of. Some articles said math concepts are actually irreplaceable. Yes, math concepts are irreplaceable. Parang 1 plus 1. In a simple way, I'm not a math expert. In a simple way, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Irreplaceable naman yun. Constant na kasi yung math. So, actually, si AI, kaya niyang gawin yung mga yon kasi constant knowledge, hindi nagbabago. Parang 100% na pag naghanap ka ng information online, ang 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Or 1 half plus 1 half is equal to 1. Di ba parang ganun? So, is it fine? AI can help. Higher AI can even help us in math, generating visualizations, those kinds of things. AI can help. Pero, para saan? Di ba? Baka dun papasok yung mga mathematician. Bakit ba napapaunlad ang mathematics? Para saan? Dapat yung mga tinatanong natin, no? Yung mga nagtuturo ng math. Oo, alam niyo yung mga theorem. You can prove this whatever. Pero para saan? 'Di ba? Lagi nga yun yung struggle nila, 'di ba? Nung nag-college tayo, kung ano-ano mga inaaral nating math. Pero ang tanong natin, para saan ba 'to? 'Di ba? Para saan sa totoong buhay? So, I think that would differentiate you. Yeah. Can we pick up the question on declaration by Rojana? Si Ma'am Rohana. Oh, ayun na si Ma'am. What can you say about AI use declaration forms? It's good. Pero para saan? Paano pag dineclare ng bata, I use ChatGPT to write my essay? O, pinadeclare nyo naman. Sorry, happy loss po ako. So, wala pa akong kape. Joke. AI use declaration forms. Paano pag sinabi ng bata, sige nga, it's required to have declaration form. Pakisagot mga teachers and student. Paano pag sinabi ng bata, I declare the use of ChatGPT to write my essay. Ang AI declaration form po, hindi po yan independent of your AI policy. Your declaration form should be aligned to your policy. Hindi po siya okay na may declaration form naman. No. Your declaration form is just a quick way for you and your student to be mindful of how they're using the AI. But just because they declare it doesn't mean that it's okay. 'Di ba? I use AI to write the findings of my research. Pipilosohin ko ng bata, ma'am, sabi niyo naman i-declare. So, ibig sabihin, pwede na yon? No. You should teach them first what is prohibited and what is okay use of AI. Ang i-declare nila dapat marunong na sila na pinagamit kami ng AI but only within the allowable use of AI. Sorry, hapiloso po ako. Pero minsan kasi, I know that there are people, sir, okay na yun, may declaration form naman pa kami. Hindi na kailangan ng policy. No, the policy could come first. The declaration form shall be designed to adhere to the policy. Okay? Pwede ding on what extent they use it. Yes, that's the idea. But here's even the thing. On what extent they use it, yes, but it's still within the allowable parameters of AI use. It should not be outside. You design your AI use declaration forms aligned to your policy and guidelines. It's not outside your policy guidelines. It's within and aligned. Diba? Yun yung favorite natin na teachers, alignment. 'Di ba? Medyo philosopher, no? pero yun yung sinasabi natin. What if, no? What if? All right. K, there's a question from K. I see Ma'am J. Billones. Ma'am J. Billones is a friend of mine. She's also a Filipino teacher and she's working a lot on AI din. There's a question on K. Can citing AI
generated outputs be considered an ethical and responsible academic practice, and to what extent? Can citing AI generated outputs? I'm expanding how we define AI generated output. Gumawa ako ng song gamit ang AI. Is it ethical? Here's the thing, no? Here in the Philippines kasi, we cannot attribute, citation kasi is attribution, tama? Very, very, so you can only cite or you can attribute ownership to human beings, not AI tools. They cannot become authors. That's the main thing, according to the batas that we have right now. However, if you mean AI interactions, MLA, ATA, and ano pa ba yung isa? Chicago style of styles of writing, they will let you cite and reference AI interactions and results of interactions. But if you're thinking like, is it ethical that I cite? No, it's you need to cite AI interactions and generations after it. But to attribute ownership to AI tools like ChatGPT wrote this for me and sa batas wala eh. You can only attribute ownership to human beings. Or authorship pala, authorship. Jenna DZ, ito gusto ko to. Do you think students should be allowed to use AI tools for grammar and punctuation? Kung senior high school students sila at college, problema pa ba natin ang grammar? Sabi ko, mga teachers, dapat pag tumungtong sila ng senior high school, college, hindi na natin problema yung grammar. Kasi ang grammar minamaster sa elementary at junior high school. 'Di ba? So for me, wala nang issue sa senior high school and college kasi I'm assuming that the students know how to use is R. Hindi na dapat problema 'yun, 'di ba? Kung ang problema nyo ay hindi pa sila magaling sa grammar pagdating ng senior high school, kaya ayaw nyo sa mag-AI, ay nako, ang problema po systemic 'yon. Bakit sila umabot ng senior high school at college hindi magaling sa grammar? Kasi dapat minamaster yan. Pero pag ang students nyo ay grade school at nag-aaral pa ng grammar, I say don't let them use AI to generate. 'Di ba? Ang golden rule in AI is if they cannot do it independently, then don't let them use AI. Kaya sa elementary, okay ako na walang AI. Kasi kailangan muna nilang mag-practice at mag-master ng literacy at numeracy. Parang calculator, bakit sa elementary walang calculator? 'Di ba? Pero pwede sa high school. Kasi naturuan na natin sila ng mental math, ng basic math. Can you imagine, halimbawa si Glenda, no, yung anak niya, elementary pa lang, halimbawa, ang baby ni bigyan mo ng calculator, matututo ba yun ng 1 plus 1 na walang calculator? Hindi. Easy way out yun. So parang ganon, kung hindi pa sila marunong, huwag bigyan ng AI. Kung ang problema mo, senior high school, college, bibigyan ko ba ng AI gagamit ng Grammarly? Hindi ako sa AI may stress. May stress ako sa fact na umabot sila ng senior high school at college na hindi magaling sa grammar. 'Di ba? So, sabi ni Sir Pau Borja, with this correct educational system, current siguro, not correct, no? With this current educational system, grammar and punctuation is still a problem in senior high students. But sad, but it's true. I'm a senior high school teacher. So, you use AI to help them learn grammar. You don't use AI to make up for what they don't know. 'Di ba? Di bigyan nyo sila ng after class session. Huwag nyo silang pauwi. Bigyan nyo sila ng remedial class on grammar. I know that there are some teachers doing that. Nagbibigay sila ng free tutorials after school. And this is public schools, ha? Yung mga teachers. Kasi sabi nila, Sir Jim, kami din naman ang mga problema. Di kami na rin magbigay ng solution. Di ba? I know kasi yung mga tita ko sa Abra, yun yung ginagawa eh. Walang choice eh. Kung ayaw mong problemahin, ikaw magbigay ng solution.
Totoo, 'yan. Kahit ako TLE/English. Ayan. Kasi
Tama.
nakaka-stress. Nakaka-stress 'pag
Anong fa
nababasa mo ang mga gawa
yeah.
nila, even the basic.
Ano ano yung favorite word natin ngayon? Intervention. 'Di ba?
Correct. Ayun, ayan,
Ayan.
intervention. Correct, correct, Sir, Pao Borja. Ayun, 'yan. So, do we still have questions? Ang sarap talaga pag-usapan 'no, Sir Jim. Talagang hindi tayo matatapos sa topic na ito kung talagang uupuan natin siya. But anyway, sobrang dami nating upcoming trainings na napaparating about all of this, all of your questions. Marami pa, sobrang dami pa. So, yes, before we end, do we still have any last words, Sir Jim, reminders? Ayan.
Ayan. Ayan, wala marami pa, actually marami pa pag-usapan. Next week mag-uusap din tayo about AI and research. In the next month, marami din. So stay tuned lagi. There's a lot to talk about AI and we hope that you spend your Saturdays with us. There will be more and more discussions about AI. More people will be joining me as well. So stay tuned. Glenda will make an announcement about the sessions that we'll have. So thank you everyone and a great morning. I enjoyed. Kahit wala pa akong kape, nag-enjoy po ako sa chat natin. And I really appreciate the teachers and professors who brought their students here. Shout out to our future teachers. Opo, meron pa kayong trabaho na dadatnan. Pero kailangan mag-adjust. But thank you everyone and thank you Glenda.
Ayun, again, thank you so much, Sir Jim. Yan, a virtual applause naman, heart react, party poppers. Grabe, sobrang interactive ng session natin today. Sobrang daming learnings. That's why thank you so much po, Sir Jim. Ayan. So, thank you din, teachers and students, ayan, who joined us live here. And on behalf of Tag Pros Education and the entire team, maraming salamat po. Once again, this is your host, Glenda Milarion, greeting you all a happy National Teachers Month and International Literacy Day. Stay safe, stay inspired, and see you sa next sessions natin.